Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. What's going on, Pile 1? Welcome back to my channel. We're back doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and channeling through your person's real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to you. Actually, no, what we're doing, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not feeling well. I'm a little bit under the weather. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but we're powering through. What we're jumping in and channeling through today is who are you to your person? Where do you currently stand with them? And what is it your person is wanting ultimately with you and their connection with you, okay? So just keep in mind, you guys, it is a collective general love reading, so whatever resonates, you can do whatever you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever that information is resonating with, okay? I do have personal readings available if you would like for me to tap into exclusively you and your person's connection. I even have this exact reading available in this format. Okay, it'll be listed under the link for specific person readings. There's a lot of readings available in that category. Many of them are just $25. So go see which ones fit your guys' needs. We're going to get right into your reading. You guys were drawn to the very large Herkimer diamond. Let's see, who are you to your person? Okay, we got soulmates. Hold on though, I guess that card could go either way. We have the Knight of Swords, clarifying that with the King of Swords in the reverse, as well as the Reader. Okay, and that's an extra card in this specific deck. And then we also have, let's see, how your person is currently seeing you. We got Martyr showing up in the reverse, so we're going to read the shadow attribute, which says addiction to self-pity. Okay, there's a couple of things coming through. Buckle up, you guys, because this is going to be one of those readings, okay? You're definitely acting as a mirror to your person, and the fact that we have your person seeing you as a martyr and the shadow attribute of a martyr, addiction to self-pity, they might be seeing you as somebody not so much that you are Okay, all right. Let me explain the process that I'm going through right now, because I know there's a victim card in this deck, right? And that's not the card that came out. So it's not necessarily that your person is seeing you as a victim. It could be that your person is seeing you as somebody who's just hyper fixated on what went wrong, what's going wrong, what isn't happening. The fact that Martyr is, let me see what the upright position says on that. The light attribute says learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. They could see you as somebody who's now very shut down. The fact that we have a lot of masculine energy as like who you are to your person, they can see you very much on guard against them and against this connection. The fact that we have reader coming out, your person could also feel like, again, you're a very potent, you're like a very clear mirror, but really what's coming through, your person feels like you can read their energy. They could be feeling very skittish when it comes to you in this connection at this point in time. Energies between you guys at this point in time is not the best, okay? Your person's aware of that. You guys have had quite some challenging experiences with your person in this connection. For many of you, you may have even cut your person off, or this connection has been cut off because of some of those experiences that you may be even going through right now. Give me a minute. Okay, so who you are to your person with the soulmate card right here. This is not the lightweight version of the card, the energy that's coming through. This is a very loud, like kind of like a neon sign, you know, the kind of connection that rearranges the architecture of your soul kind of energy. Very impactful. Who you are to your person, you in this connection is, your person is clocking in, is very impactful. Not easy, okay, but very impactful. In the energy and the context that the soulmate card is coming through, this does not necessarily mean lifelong. It doesn't mean easy. Doesn't necessarily mean destined for marriage, and it doesn't also necessarily have to mean that there's karmic suffering, right? What it does mean to your person for who you are to them is that there's a deep internal click, you know, between the two of you. Your person does recognize you as somebody who's very important to them and in their life, and your presence in their life does ignite personal growth when it comes to your person. This is definitely a relationship that has or is changing both of you at a core soul level, even if it's messy. And I can tell by these energies that it probably has been, especially with the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords in the reverse. You know, who you are to your person, this is the kind of dynamic where you awaken each other's shadow and potential. Okay? This is a you crack me open kind of an energy, all right? Soulmates aren't always cute or convenient. Sometimes it's a spiritual crowbar, all right? So with the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords reversed, this is where things get really either juicy and or messy, okay? Your person's response to recognizing you as a soulmate, with the Knight of Swords, they felt that pull fast, very swift, very sudden. Okay, some kind of like sudden mental clarity. There was an urgency that they felt when it came to you in this connection. You know, you ignited, or what's that word? You inspired them to pursue you. You inspire them to pursue the connection. It may even be with the King of Swords in the reverse there, that desire to pursue, that urgency. It may even be to your person, it may feel illogical, like it may not make sense to them, but they're feeling that way towards you in the connection anyway. Almost with their reckless intensity. You know, pile one, who you are to your person, you hit them like a plot twist, all right? With the King of Swords in the reverse, you know, this is their mind, their intellect, their ability to reason. when they get freaked out. Okay, this is overthinking, it's shutting down emotionally, trying to control what can't be controlled, it's sabotaging with coldness or withdrawal. It's logic scrambling to override the heart. You know, this is who you are to them. You trigger this within them. You know, so real talk, pile one, this person knows you're significant. That's exactly why their brain short circuits and they default to defense mode when it comes to you in this connection, all right? Like, this is the whole, I'll pretend I don't care so I don't drown in what I feel narrative. Okay, it's that kind of a move. It's that kind of a maneuver. So with the reader, I do want to clarify, this is not clarify, I do want to remind you that the reader, I don't know if I even told you that, the reader is a whole different, I think there's 2 extra cards beyond the 78 card tarot deck, right? The reader is one of them. It's not the High Priestess. The High Priestess is already in the deck. That's not what this means. So I do want to make sure that we distinguish that. With the reader card, this talks about conscious engagement with wisdom, actively trying to understand, being confronted with the truth, seeing the signs and having to interpret them, taking accountability for, you know, one's own narrative or story, and being forced to look at the picture as a whole. Okay, versus, you know, the typical meanings of the High Priestess, which can talk about hidden knowledge, mystery, inner truth, psychic knowing, intuition that flows naturally, stuff like that. All right, where the High Priestess is mystical, the reader is practical, intentional, and very self-aware. The reader, you know, people interpret the High Priestess as maybe more of a quiet stillness. The reader is different. It's more vocal. It's more, yes, practical. I want to say it's more loud, okay? Maybe not necessarily like in the 3D loud, but the energy is loud, like it's palpable. Your person, you know, it's like your energy is, in the energy of this connection is hitting them almost like a brick, okay? In the context of this, of the way it's coming through in the context of this reading. So, you know, the reader here, pile one, represents you as a catalyst to your person's awareness. So it's not mystical intuition that they can ignore, but truth held up like a mirror that your person has to actually look at. You don't just activate your person's intuition, pile one, you activate their conscious understanding of parts of themselves that they've been avoiding up until this point. And you're making it, it's almost like you're amplifying their shadow and you're making it almost impossible for them to ignore it. Okay. For who you are to your person, you make them think, not just feel. Which can be, and actually it feels like it might be flipped. You make them feel and not just think. But for somebody who is maybe used to being able to compartmentalize their thoughts and their emotions, you make it very difficult, because somebody that has maybe even been shut down at the heart center because they don't like feeling their emotions, they could even be emotionally unintelligent or illiterate, right? And you're bringing all the stuff that they have been trying to bury and have buried, maybe, you know, for a very long time, up into where they are able to detect it with their conscious awareness. You make them very uncomfortable, okay? Very uncomfortable for who you are to your person. You challenge your person's identity, pile one. You confront their patterns. You bring self-awareness right to their doorstep. You know, I'm hearing loud knocking. Like, it's that kind of knock where it's not cute. You know, it's like tap, tap, tap. It's like that, you know, that kind of knock, that police, you know, knock on your door. It's like, you know, not that, again, your person is feeling this pull towards you, but at the same time, it's like it's jarring to your person and even to their nervous system. Okay, again, you make them feel very uncomfortable, but it, you know, when you look at the whole big picture, it's serving a purpose at a soul level, all right? But I can see where your person there are times when they feel a draw to run towards you, and then you show up like this, you know, high def, 4K, whatever the highest definition of reality, you know, TV can be. And it's like, whoa, I'm not ready for that. They're not ready for a mirror, okay? And you are like one of the clearest mirrors they have ever come across. You know, this is why your person flips from the Knight of Swords, which is rushing in, to the King of Swords reverse, which is that panic, logic, shutdown, avoid, trigger, right? It's just you in this connection. It's that you as a reflection, you as a mirror to your person. It's too real, okay? And let's see, for how they see you with Martyr reversed, addiction to self-pity. This is how they're seeing you right now. This is not flattering, but it's honest, okay? They see you as somebody who may be holding pain like a badge. They see you as somebody who may feel wronged, wounded, or overlooked as a result, or from this person, or as a result of being involved in this connection with them. They see you as somebody who may be in a loop of, why is this happening to me? They may also seem to them, or you may also seem to them like you're sacrificing way too much, or maybe you have done that, you know. And that might be a bit of self-reflection that your person is looking in, like as a result of being with them, or having, you know, they see like you have that, I don't want to say that ability. They do, it's almost like a willingness. They see your willingness to sacrifice maybe a little bit too much of your wants, your needs, and your desires, or that's how they were seeing you, you know, at least up until a certain point. Now, again, pile one, this doesn't mean that you're doing this, right? It just means that this is how they see you right now. So here's the kicker. This martyr, the shadow attribute of the martyr, is exactly the part of you that your connection with them is meant to evolve. So if this is true, okay, if you are somebody who, you know, willfully, maybe even happily sacrificed your own needs, your own wants, you know, put everything for you on the back burner to make this person happy, okay, then yes, that was something that needed to be looked at for you. We're not going to talk too much about you. I know you're here to talk about your person, but give me a minute, okay? You know, for you, pile one, that soulmates card is warning you, or has warned you, that this person breaks you open so you can become who you were meant to be as well. But you're the reader here. You're the one on the throne, the one learning to interpret your reality and not to endure it. And so, you know, this is just kind of a call from the universe and your own higher self. You know, that there are lessons that you can also learn. Your person is also acting as a high def reflection for you as well. Okay, you're not meant to be in the shadows of self-pity. You're meant to be in sovereignty, and your person is feeling that contrast. And so, if you still are locked in that sense, pile one, where you know you concede a lot to your person. You have a tendency to kind of back off because you don't want to rock the boat. There's kind of a sense you're like, no, you need to be okay with rocking the boat, okay? Because that is causing your person, whether you realize it or not, when you give too much to the point of self-sacrifice, like you're that martyr energy, it actually repels your person, okay? So something about with the King of Swords in the reverse position too, something about you maybe not honoring your own boundaries when it comes to this connection, and that is actually having the opposite effect that you're hoping it will have when it comes to this connection. If you would actually put in some healthy boundaries and actually enforce them with your person, it actually wants your person, you know, it actually makes them pursue you more or want to pursue you more. Okay, it's that whole mirroring thing. When you relax on your boundaries, your person is going to be more than happy to just plow right over them. Okay, so overall, what does this mean? You know, so who you are to your person, you're a soulmate to them. Okay, there's nothing ambiguous about that. Your person feels you in this connection very deeply. You activate your person's mind and their self-awareness, and that terrifies your person enough to make them cold and erratic sometimes. Your person sees you as powerful, insightful, and catalytic. So, you know, this is that reader energy. You do sit on your own throne, okay? That's when you are in this reader energy, that's when your person feels the pull to come towards you. It's when you flip into this martyr, the shadow attribute of the martyr, where you're allowing your person just pretty much to do whatever the hell they want in hopes of not rocking the boat with them, right? That's when they get that impulse to run away. You know, they see a wound in, they see a wound in you. The part of you that can slip into, I'm always the one who gets hurt. It's not necessarily that your person judges it, but they do notice it. Okay, for some of you, they might actually judge it, whether you realize it or not. They may actually subconsciously be marking that against you. It's like, yeah, they know that they benefit from you not honoring your own boundaries and not sticking up for yourself and not fighting for what you want in this connection. And that actually, it's like, even if it's subconsciously, that's like marks against you. Okay, so just know that. And this connection was definitely designed to evolve both of you, not just your person, pile one. Okay, this is not a gentle energy. It's not subtle, and it's definitely not quiet. Okay, something about this reader energy here is very loud, energetically. Okay, and I mean, your person may legitimately see you as someone loud. I don't know if you get very impassioned when you're communicating. I don't know if your person has told you maybe to lower your voice, you know, and stuff like that. That could be very literal as well. Okay, what are we gonna do now? Let's look and see where their current thoughts and feelings are at real quick. We're just gonna get a few cards from here. One more shuffle. Pile one's person, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. Swords, pile one at this time. Okay, we have I'm sorry, please forgive me. So your person does have some regrets, okay? When it comes to like how they've shown up or are showing up in this connection, they are literally asking for forgiveness, okay? Again, there's some information coming through that you guys have had some pretty difficult experiences as a result of being in this connection. And, you know, your person is saying, you know, especially for those of you where that you felt hurt, betrayed, whatever the case may be, disappointed, even resentful or bitter, your person does feel bad about how they contributed to that, okay? Let's get a couple more. Keeping my options open, yeah. And, you know, that's where the energy that they're in now, okay? So they're not committing to this connection at all. They're seeing it as an option still, okay? And that might definitely be a source of contention between the two of you. Let's get one more. And, you know, that will make sense if the two of you are not together. You know, if you guys have been separated, they're just kind of letting you know. You know, there's, you know, I don't know. We'll do some clarifying. Give me one more. Wound mates. There you go. Yeah, you know, and that's where you guys are at right now. Soulmates, yes. Wound mates, definitely. And that's showing up right underneath that mirror. You guys are reflecting each other's wounds and shadows to each other. Okay? If you know how, you can use that, pile one. You can use that to your advantage in you know, in essence of being able to, whatever your person is triggering within you, that pain was there before your person ever came into the picture, okay? You may or may not even recognize or know that, you know, and just to show you, you know, somebody that has a very deep abandonment wound, you know, or a deep wound in terms of like not feeling good enough and stuff like that, a person who has that kind of a wounding is, you know, a person who doesn't have that kind of a wounding cannot be triggered by somebody behaving or telling them, or behaving in a way or telling you directly that you're not good enough if that wound does not exist, right? And for those of you that don't appreciate, you know, these kinds of things in terms of like advice or whatever, that's the energy coming through. That's what, you know, this is coming through for your benefit. If you continue where you're at, this thing is going to keep going in cycles. Nothing is ever going to get better. In fact, it could get worse, because the more you abandon yourself and the more you keep abandoning your shadow or trying to avoid your shadow, it's gonna get worse. Okay? It's gonna get worse. And so that's what's coming through from your higher self, pile one from the universe. It's like, use what's going on in this connection to your benefit by way of, it's like, okay, you see the reflection, you're not liking the reflection. You can't clean the mirror. You have to clean yourself if you want the reflection in the mirror to change, right? And so if you don't know how to do that, go down to the description box. There's a couple of videos on another channel of mine called Pure Godfidence. Those two videos would be, you know, how to stop manifesting separation. Start there. And then the second video is the process by which to do that, called releasing the wants. Okay, if you don't want your person if you don't want your person to reflect your wounds back to you, and you know, when that happens, that's like, if you have an abandonment wound, the way your person's going to reflect that wound to you is by abandoning you. Okay, if you have a wound of, I'm not good enough, I need validation to know that I'm good enough, your person's going to reflect to you that, or your person's going to reflect that wound back to you by behaving and even saying things that trigger that feeling that you're not good enough. Okay, the only way to stop that cycle is by doing the shadow work, basically. At the bottom of the deck, we have I trust you. Okay, yeah, not the strongest of energies. It's a background energy is what that feels like. Your person is letting you know, no matter what happened between the two of you, the trust is still, they trust you, okay, even if, regardless of whether or not you trust them. Give me a minute, you guys. I need to take a sip of my tea. I'm a little bit under the weather. Now we're going to find out where you stand with him currently. Pile one's person. Where does pile one currently stand with their person? Healing heart, but it's showing up in the reverse. All right. In the upright position, it says healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relation. Yeah, you guys are still stuck in this cycle. Okay. Your person, for healing to happen between the two of you, it doesn't require that both of you do the healing work. Only one of you needs to. Okay. And remember, we're not doing the healing work in order for our relationship to flourish. You know, we do our healing work for us to flourish just individually, and our relationships will flourish as just a natural byproduct of that. But the fact that we have healing heart in the reverse for where you stand with your person, you guys are locked in a cycle. It's just, you guys, it just two mirrors reflecting each other's wounds back to each other. Okay. For that cycle to stop, someone has to do the inner healing work, okay? Or it's just going to keep going around in loops. Let's get a couple more. Where does pile one stand with their person, please? All of these are showing up in the reverse, but this is actually, I like that this came up in the reverse. This is stabbed in the back, okay? In the reverse, in the heart, in the in the upright position, it says heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. It is showing up in the reverse, but it's showing up right on top of the King of Swords in the reverse. This is what your person is avoiding feeling for where you stand with your person, pile one. They're shutting off. They're trying not to feel the pain. They're trying not to feel the effects of their absence from you. They're numbing out, okay? Why am I hearing drying out? That's weird. Drying, like D-R-Y-I-N-G. That's weird. Is that a reference to maybe like somebody having, like recovering from alcohol or something? Alcohol, I don't know. That's weird. Let me get one more. Wow, look at that, you guys. Twin flame, boom. Yes, you know, and that could vary. If you believe in that dynamic, this could be confirmation. Yes, you are in a twin flame dynamic with your person. You know, if you don't really believe in the twin flame dynamic or the concept, for me as a reader seeing this energy, you, for who you are or where you stand with your person at least, there's something, but there's something so impactful. There's a quality to the energy in the experience of this connection that is unmatched. Twin flame dynamics are also can be very intense. Like everything that you could feel in a relationship, in a twin flame, like just in a relationship in general, everything that you could feel even in a soulmate, right, dynamic, whether it's the good stuff or the bad stuff, with a twin flame dynamic gets dialed up to like the highest intensity. And that's pretty much, this may be what is short circuiting your person. And twin flame card is showing up right on top of the reader for where you stand and who you are to your person. Okay, you are the most accurate mirror your person has ever come across. You know, whatever highs you guys had, they have never, like, whatever paradise you guys have experienced, they've never experienced that before. But on the flip side, they've also never experienced quite the depths of hell with anybody else that they've experienced except with you, right? Very powerful. We got the Phoenix at the bottom of the deck. Wow. This says new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation. Yeah, definitely with transformation, growth, and a changed mind. You are definitely causing your person to see things completely differently on a whole other different level. Your person, regardless of what happens to you guys, even in real twin flame, like if it actually is a twin flame dynamic, you still have free will, pile one. They still have free will. You guys don't have to end up in a lifelong commitment in this, you know, in this lifetime. You can go do other things, right? What's that movie that's coming up? Is it Hancock with Charlize Theron and Will Smith, where, you know, they're both superheroes and they're twin flames basically. And, you know, in that movie, go check it out. It's actually it kind of explains the dynamic of twin flames pretty well. The thing about the movie is that the twin flames in that movie, they have to be separated, because when they're together, it's just like they get weak. And you may actually experience that with your person. You know, when you guys are together and trying to work things out, your energy or your energy and or their energy suffers. Like y'all get weakened, right? That could just be because of the wounding that still needs to be healed between, you know, your shadow and their shadow needs to be healed. Again, you know, you can't change the reflection. You can only change what is being reflected, which would be you. Okay. But in that movie that I was talking about, you know, Charlize, is that how you say her name? Theron's character actually ended up marrying whoever character Jason Bateman played. It's a decent movie, you know, and she's legitimately happy with him, you know, legitimately, like even prefers to be with that person. And so, you know, twin flames don't have to end up together, okay? And some people, you know, because I don't know, maybe we're getting too much off of a tangent there. We'll leave it there. But yeah, so let's find out now. What are we doing? What do they want? I can gab for a while, okay? Some people don't appreciate that. I understand. Oh, wow. Here's what they're wanting, you guys. Check it out. Reconciliation. They want to work things out. They want to return. And they want to address any unfinished business that you guys have. What is pile one's person wanting? Ultimately, when it comes to pile one and their connection with pile one. What do they want with pile one ultimately? And they're hot and cold. Yeah. Let's see. This says sends mixed signals inconsistently. This is kind of them not wanting. Yeah, they want reconciliation, but there's still something there about commitment. Okay, your person could very avoidant. Could be very avoidant in attachment styles. They don't want to feel bound. They have this need to retain their sense of freedom and autonomy, okay? Yes, they want reconciliation, but they don't want to feel tied down. There's something about keeping their options open, okay? Not because they don't want to be with you or they, you know, I don't know. Let me get one more. What do they want from pile one in their connection with pile one? They do. They want the option to come and go as they please. And then we have Gypsy, knowing the unknowable, unconventional lives. There you go. And you know what? That could be literal. Your person may prefer to have some kind of a dynamic romantically and or sexually where they are allowed within the context of you guys having a romantic slash sexual connection where they are allowed to keep their options open and exercise those open options, and you be okay with it, just being honest. Okay. At the bottom of the deck we have sacrifice, which is more that martyr energy. It says sacrifice for love, must give up. This is what they want from you. Okay, again, because I was saying earlier, pile one, there's a part of your person that wants you to disregard your own needs, your own wants, and your boundaries and not stick up for yourself. But there's also a flip side to them when you do that, that actually they mark against you, like that they're losing respect for you. And so overall, what's coming through pile one is like, fuck them, right? Fuck them. What's gonna make you happy ultimately? I mean, really, and sit down and try not to make it like it would make me happy if my person did 8. No. Just dial it down to the most core elements. Well, I would be happy being in a relationship where I'm feeling chosen, I'm feeling number one, I'm feeling, safe. And what safe might be for you could be, a monogamous relationship, or a relationship where it is open, maybe it's more ethical, right? And then look and be like, okay, is that what I'm getting from this person? Maybe that's what it is. Just sit down and what is it you want from a relationship just in general? And then look and be like, okay, am I getting that from this person? If the answer is no, and it's not, I can tell that it is from the energies coming through, then you need to start, maybe, what do they call, expanding your horizons, and not limit yourself. If you are somebody that buys into the twin flame dynamic, not limiting yourself, just because it could be a twin flame dynamic. That doesn't mean that you can't ever be happy with someone else, okay? Again, and I know we can get addicted to the intense highs, and we may have the propensity to compare every other relationship with that, but then that might be you. Again, addictions coming through for you, like both of you are addicted to the intense highs that the two of you experience together, and you can actually what's that word, not process it out, but you can unhook your system from actually craving that, so that you can find a relationship with somebody that isn't constantly on the all or nothing spectrum, right? That's up to you guys though. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna end your reading there, pile one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. It went long, I know. There's a lot of stuff to share here. This is a very complex dynamic that you and your person has, especially if it's a twin flame. But anyway, yeah, become part of the family if you haven't already done so, simply by subscribing. And I will see you guys at your next Pick a Card Love Reading by pile one. Pile two, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another Pick a Card Love Reading, tapping in and channeling through who you are to your person, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it, I'm sorry, yeah, that is included in there, but where you stand with them, and what is it they're wanting when it comes to you and their connection with you. Okay, and forgive me, I'm a tiny bit out of it. I'm kind of going through a little bit of a cold right now, but we're powering through anyway. All right, so just keep in mind, you guys, it's a collective general love reading, so if it resonates, take it, run with it. If something isn't quite landing, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. Okay, you guys, I do have private personal readings available, including this exact reading as a personal reading in this format. It can be found in the link under specific person readings. There are actually a lot of readings available in that category. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out. See which ones fit your needs, all right? So pile two, you guys were drawn to the Ametrine. Let's see, who are you to your person? We have no place like home, but it is showing up in the reverse. We also have the Four of Cups reverse, the High Priestess reverse. The Nine of Cups reverse. Whoa, your person is fighting for their life, I just heard. When it comes to you in this connection, they are heavily resisting it. Heavily, heavily, heavily. The way they are seeing you, okay, in regards to this connection, we have goddess, but it is showing up as the shadow attribute of the goddess, which the shadow attribute says exploitation of the female nature and form. Ooh, man. Your person sees you as very powerful, pile 2, and they are actually, it's like they love it and they fear it at the same time. Your person is actually afraid of your ability. Like if you, it's weird. It's like if your person is thinking to themselves, because this feels like the shadow, the goddess in the reverse, that feels like the lens at which they're, the filter and the lens at which they are seeing things through. They're seeing you as somebody that's very powerful. You have this very seductive quality to you, and they're afraid that if you chose to use it for evil, you could really destroy them. Okay. With the no place like home being reversed, it's basically saying that you feel very familiar to your person, but familiarity isn't the same thing as healthy, okay? And your person knows it. So to them, you're the person, pile 2, who activates their comfort wound. You feel like home, not because of stability, but because of old emotional patterns they're used to, patterns that don't help them grow. Now, I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong. You could be showing up doing everything right. You could actually be showing up in your goddess energy in the light attribute, right? And because your person is afraid of that power, they could be demonizing it to themselves, right? As a way to kind of try to distance themselves from it, from your power, from your ability to seduce them, to take advantage of them, to get one over on them and stuff like that. The upright position, this says the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Okay, I mean, that could be how you're showing up, and your person could be just afraid of that power that you hold, and they're thinking to themselves, if pile 2 ever decided to use that power for evil, they could really crush me. Okay. So to your person, you represent a pull towards what they know, even when what they know isn't the best for them. And a lot of this can be happening subconsciously. Okay. What your person may know, okay, a lot of this could be subconscious, is that, women can use their power to hurt, or I should say women, feminine energy can use their power to influence masculine energy for the worst. Or, what they know is maybe being abandoned by feminine energies. That could be their experience. And so they're not, what's coming through for who you are to your person, this doesn't really feel like they're seeing you clearly. They're seeing you through the lens of fear and what they've experienced before, okay? And it's almost like they're future projecting, or they're closing down and shutting down and keeping you from being able to get too close to them, because they fear that the influence that you could have on them, okay, should you decide to use it against them or to use it for evil. You trigger a lot of their unhealed patterns, pile 2, for who you are to your person. You're definitely somebody who feels safe and dangerous to them at the same time. Okay, there's kind of like some kind of an emotional deja vu dynamic that they're not able to ignore. Okay, literally, I just heard, you remind me of someone that I used to know. Okay, so that's who you could be to them. They could be thinking of you in the same context of someone else that maybe they felt drawn to, that they felt had this power and used it to get over on your person. Narcissist, could be coming through. Your person could have had experience with narcissism, maybe specifically, feminine energies with narcissistic tendencies. All right. who you are to your person. You're the mirror that shows them what they keep choosing over and over, and why their soul is tired of it. So coming to the clarifiers here, which all three of these are in the reverse, and this feels kind of like a roasting energy coming through, so bear with me. I'm trying to soften it up a bit. Okay, we're not doing a psychic roast on your person. You know what? That's coming through, that might be your person's energy towards their self, okay? They could just have whether they realize it or not, they could just kind of have a very self-critical, what do they call that? Like an inner critic. They could have a very loud inner critic, and they could basically roast themselves on the daily, but not in a I mean, maybe they could do it in a playful, funny way. That might even be how your person is. Your person may roast other people, you know, and do it and mask it in humor, right? But really, it's like they actually do believe some of the things that they are saying, or they actually do mean it, but they try to soften it up with humor. Okay, that could be very specific, but that is coming through. With the Four of Cups reversed here, there is an energy coming through of like maybe your person feeling like maybe they missed an opportunity, that now they're, for whatever reason, they're suddenly seeing differently. It's kind of carrying that vibe like, damn, maybe I should have, you know, maybe I should have ignored this, right? Maybe I should have, you know, walked away from this. But again, there's kind of a back and forth going on in your person's energy where you feel both safe and dangerous to them at the same time. So there is a part of your person that wonders, like, maybe I should have just, you know, this is too complex. This is pulling up too much internally. I'm questioning things I don't want to be questioning. Not questioning you and not questioning the connection, like questioning things up within themselves. Your person is not comfortable in self-reflection, and I feel like that's what you're pulling up within them, pile two. You know, it's that call for your person to grow and heal and evolve, but the problem with that is it pulls up a lot of old stagnant memories and, you know, emotional energy that they have been stuffing down and avoiding on purpose for quite some time, and you're pulling that up, and they're like, they're not here for that, right? You're also, yeah, you're a source of emotional clarity that makes them feel very uncomfortable. And they also see you as somebody that they didn't appreciate enough, you know, at the time if you guys are not together. You're definitely triggering some kind of a wake-up call in your person, pile two. With a High Priestess in the reverse, this is big. This tells me that your person sees you as somebody who knows things about them that they don't want to be known, okay? You're somebody that can read them like too well, like you've clocked them. They know that somehow, whether you've told them to their face or it's just an energy that you're carrying, they're picking up on it. You're also somebody who exposes what they try to keep hidden, whether, you know, whether them keeping that hidden is intentional or not. You're an energetic equivalent of somebody turning the lights on in a very messy room. That could be literal as well. Your person could just be very disorganized. They could be a disorganized avoidant. What is that? That is fearful avoidant. Okay. They don't necessarily hate that, you know, you turn the light on. They're not relaxed about it either. Okay. It's like they don't hate it, but they don't necessarily enjoy it either. Especially with the Nine of Cups being here in the reverse. This is basically like emotional unfulfillment card, the emotional unfulfillment card. You're representing what they thought they wanted, but didn't realize came with like a disclaimer, right? They didn't realize you came with shadow work, and now they're afraid and they're scared that they've sabotaged it or they are sabotaging it. They're also scared that they're not enough for it. So you are pulling up a lot of these fears and doubts, and, you know, that inner critic could have been noticeable to your person, but like their involvement with you has amplified that voice and made it damn near undeniable. Okay, so how they're currently seeing you, we have the Goddess reversed here. The shadow attribute says, Again, exploitation of the female nature and form. This is the plot twist, okay? Now, this doesn't mean that you are exploitative. Did I say that right? Exploitative. Again, this means that this is the fear-based lens and the filter that they're seeing you in this connection through. So they're basically seeing you through a wounded filter, pile 2. They project onto you the fear of being seduced or manipulated. They project onto you the fear that your power over them is too much. They also fear that you could use your emotional or intuitive depth to influence them. That's what they're afraid of the most. Your ability to influence them, because they've experienced that somehow, some way, shape, or form with feminine energies in the past, whether that started with like their mother and or continued on, or whatever, with other feminine energies up until this point. There could be 1 or 2 specific relationships that your person is highlighting. Could be, again, the mother, but then there may also be another relationship, romantic relationship separate from that, where they felt very much taken advantage of because of their attraction to whomever that person was, okay? Definitely fearing that their desire for you is putting them at a disadvantage. All right, it's screaming that I feel vulnerable around you and I don't trust myself, so I don't fully trust you. Again, it's a lot of this feels like it's happening at a very subconscious level, okay? Some of it is conscious. Your person is kind of noticing, that like there's a pattern here. And a lot of it might be because you are showing up consistently in this trustworthy, where you're not, this may be more on the specific side. Some of you have known your person for a while, and you have shown up consistently, maybe even have been given the opportunity to take advantage of your person, and you never have. And so they're seeing like, okay, pile 2 isn't actually anything like these other feminines that that have taken advantage of me, that have used their feminine, their goddess seductive energy for, in order to take advantage of me. Pile 2 is not doing that. But just because they are consciously seeing that, until they do the work to uproot that energy, that old stagnant energy that is still circulating through their nervous system, as long as they are avoiding, as long as they are still in that avoidant energy, it doesn't matter how many aha moments their mind is seeing, they're still going to have that innate trigger, that innate urge to run away, okay? It's not logical at all. Your person is starting to see that. They could be feeling at a loss for words because for some of you, your person has gotten to a point where they're realizing they are sabotaging it with that 9 of Cups in the reverse. They've come to a place where they see it, they don't know how to fix it, okay? So in a nutshell, for who you are to your person, pile 2, you're definitely, you're highlighting a familiar pattern that's forcing your person to confront their own need to grow, okay? You do feel like home, but not necessarily the healthy kind, not because you aren't a healthy home. You're triggering the fear that at any point that could flip, that at any point you could, you see what I'm saying? A lot of this is not logical at all, and your person knows that. It's like you're kind of an echo chamber, a karmic echo chamber that they're trying to evolve out of. You're definitely a catalyst, you're definitely a mirror, and you're definitely a temptation, okay? Especially with that goddess energy there. It's that temptation that they are afraid of. It's the attraction that they feel to you, that feel for you, that they are afraid of. Yeah, so there's attraction, there's an emotional weight and pull when it comes to you and their connection with you. There's definitely a sense of a spiritual recognition that maybe y'all could be soulmates, right? Like y'all could be the real thing. But what's getting in the way is there's fear, projection, and avoidance, okay? So they are drawn to you because you do feel like home, you do feel familiar. They're scared of you because you require them to change. And, the nervous system, is, I don't want to say that it is highly resistant to change. Unless you get in there and actually start to clear out the work. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter how many affirmations or whatever you're trying to throw at a very, you know, at a nervous system that is seeing something as an external threat. You have to actually go in there and do the work, okay? Yeah, I mean, so they're kind of stuck somewhere between, you know, you feeling like home, but also being scared of you, like changing your mind and blowing everything up. And so there's kind of a thing here, like your person just kind of sabotages, and it's like a preemptive strike. It's like they're afraid that you are going to leave them, or you are going to take advantage of them. And so they're going to do those things to you first. Okay. It's very, very self-sabotaging. Let's find out what they are thinking, or their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. We're just going to get 3 of these cards, you guys. Okay. Pile of 2's person. 3 cards, please. Show me their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to pile 2 and their connection with pile 2. Let's see. We have... This is so strange. We got love bombing and gaslighting, and it came out with, look at that, I'm being 100% real with you. I'm going to leave it like just like that and get 2 more cards. That's like one big energy though. I get it. You know, there are some things, and maybe you were wondering whether or not. There's a couple of different messages coming through. You might be wondering whether or not they were gaslighting, or, you know, future faking or love bombing, you know, possibly because they aren't following through, but they're letting you know it's like they actually do mean those things, but then they have this whole other part of them that's actually afraid of that, okay? There's also something coming through, them afraid of you love bombing and gaslighting you. Because, I'm sorry, they're afraid of you love bombing and gaslighting them. And they're coming through and saying their hope that you're being real. They want it. They want the things that you say to them to be true, because they are being true with you. They're being real with you. And this is also them. That could have been a message for you too. Sometimes we do love bomb and gaslight ourselves, okay? You know, when we sit here and you know, our internal dialogue is to say things like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, that didn't really happen. I mean, yeah, we can gaslight ourselves quite a bit, but your person also might be afraid that they're doing the same thing to themselves, okay? But they're wanting you to know, pile 2, you know, the awesome things that they said, like if they told you they want to marry you, they see forever with you, they want to have babies with you. That might be why it's coming out in that combination, right? Because it's letting me know there's some things that they said to you that carried a lot of emotional weight. Some serious things, right? Not just I love you, but like I want to spend the rest of my life with you, blah, blah, blah. They meant those things, okay? Let's get 2 more, please. Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2. Yeah, they're saying that wasn't them love bombing and gaslighting. They actually mean those things. They're also afraid of your power, your influence. They're very afraid of being taken advantage of again. Okay, let's get a couple more. You're definitely reminding them of somebody. There's a dynamic to like the way they feel, like the amount of attraction and the pull and the magnetization they feel towards you reminds them of another situation that they dealt with where they did end up getting their heart broken, even shattered, okay? Your person's got trust issues, pile 2. And it is definitely affecting and impacting your guys' connection in a very negative, at least a very challenging manner, okay? Let's get 2 more. Yeah, avoidant attachment. There you go. Didn't I just say something about a disorganized attachment? Was that when I'm channeling you guys? I'm sorry. I'm in that part of my brain that doesn't. It's yeah. Was that this where I was talking about like a mess? I don't know, but because I had said something about a disorganized avoidant attachment, which is basically what is that, a fearful avoidant. But we literally have avoidant attachment coming out. But there are times when your person does cling, so they could be more on the fearful avoidant side, which is disorganized attachment. Okay, but it is favoring more of avoidant. Your person is, especially if you are secure. Pile 2, if you're secure, or, you know, if you see yourself as being a fearful avoidant, but you're more in the anxious attachment when it comes to your person, because they are probably, that's funny. I mean, it's not funny, it's interesting. You know, somebody can inherently be an avoidant. I don't think two avoidants can get together. I think somebody has to have a tendency to cling at some point, and that's fearful avoidance or disorganized avoidance. And so you could be an avoidant sometimes, but you could be more of a fearful avoidant. So you do have the tendency to cling if somebody is showing up in a very avoidant way, right? That's just very strange, though. Let me get out of that, because the Sag part of me is wanting to understand that dynamic. Your person does feel like they also have a fearful avoidant tendency, but in this relationship with you, you are triggering them to run away more often than you trigger them to cling. And that would make a lot of sense if maybe you are somebody that has more of an anxious attachment style, and so you just tend to cling more often than not. That actually makes your person want to run away. But for many of you, I'm picking up, you're more on a secure attachment style. And so you just have the ability to hold space for this person. And many of you are holding space for this person, trying to allow them the space to figure shit out. But they are taking more of an avoidant approach to you. That might be more dismissive. I don't know. Let's get one more. If you don't know about attachment styles, definitely go check them out. Very interesting. That helps you guys to like not make your person's behavior or lack thereof mean something personal about you and their feelings for you and stuff like that. All right. One more. Your heart is safe with me. They want it to be. Okay. Their intentions. Yeah, look at that. I'm just having fun here, nothing serious. What is going on with that? Because that doesn't necessarily feel like it tracks. I mean, they want to be a safe space for you. They want this connection to be a safe space for both of you. I mean, this could just be too, you know, pointing to you guys being in such a space with yourself where your heart is pretty much safe with anybody because, you know, you guard your heart, pile 2, like none other, right? And you're just able to hold space for other people, especially if you are able to exercise, you know, boundaries very much for yourself. But this is with, I'm just having fun here, nothing serious. Let me see if that's a background energy or if that's energy like that they used to be in and it is now like weakening. What kind of energy is this? Background energy or weakening energy. It's weakening. Okay, so yeah, that was the energy that they used to be in when it came to you, and something they could start to be maybe surrendering. That's energy that's weakening. They're not in that energy towards you anymore. They used to be in the energy of just having fun, seeing this connection as something casual. It was nothing serious, but in you know, with the Knight of Pentacles, that was your person's way of slowing progress, if not making progress at all, right? So let me see. So if that energy is weakening, what's coming in? What's the energy coming in? Oh, man. Okay, this wanted to come out in the, it did come out in the upright position, the Ten of Swords, but Let's keep going. I'm not sure how I feel about that energy yet. We'll get the answers. There is an energy of your person wanting to hang in there when it comes to you in this connection. Well, I mean, it makes sense, because if your person isn't willing to do the actual work, like the shadow work, and face their fears and their inner demons, and they continue to run away, it's just going to be this endless cycle. You can hold space for that all you want, pile 2. But they have to do the work. Again, you can be showing up in the consistently and proven to your person, and even intellectually they understand that you are a safe space for them. But until they clear out the energy in their nervous system and start making associations for their nervous systems, and start like, okay, there's, powerful feminine energy isn't always corrupt, right? Until they start doing that, it doesn't matter what you do, how consistent you are and stuff like that. They're always going to see you as a threat. Your power is a threat. Always. They have to do the work. And until they do that, they're going to be keeping this energy of things between you just being fun, just being a fun, casual connection and not being anything serious, them just kind of living single and always, maybe looking for third parties, or throwing, third parties in the mix as a way to keep themselves distanced from you emotionally. Okay. Let's move on. Where does pile 2 currently stand with their person? I'm putting a pin in that 10 of Swords that was in the upright and it flipped in the reverse. I'm putting a pin in that to see how that factors in here later. Oh, wow. All right, we got Girl with a Snake. It says empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. We also have Palm Tree with stability, security, permanence, growth, but this came out with Girl with the Snake. For the time being, pile 2, because your person isn't doing the work. Now, they are clocking the patterns. They're seeing that. But unless they actually do the work, it's not going to them just knowing and seeing the pattern isn't going to, it doesn't fix the problem, okay? Your person they need to do shadow work. They need to go to therapy if that's something that, whatever. They need to get help, okay? They need to do the work, and they might need to get help to do the work. We got Lightning. This is sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. That's exactly what your person is running away from. We also have Date. Yeah, where you stand with your person, they're treating this as a very casual connection. That's how they're still seeing it. The fact that, okay, that makes sense, because they're saying, the energy of I'm just having fun here, it's nothing serious. They're seeing, that's what it is. They're seeing intellectually that it actually is not. Like, there's something in the dynamic of your guys' connection that is way beyond, there's real feelings here. There's a real influence here. And your person, while they see it, that doesn't mean they're actually going to follow through, okay? So with I'm just having fun here, nothing serious, yes, their view and their perception on that is changing, but that's not changing them from like following through and making it something more. They're still going to be living single. They're still going to be dabbling in third parties, because again, noticing it and being conscious of it doesn't actually fix the problem, okay? Grim Reaper at the bottom of the deck. The relationship is over. No second chances. Grow and transform your life. Yeah, there's transformation here, period. But I mean, transformation is there. That's already out on the board. Is this saying that the relationship is over and no second chances? Grow and transform your life. What is the bottom of the deck energy here? I mean, your person could very well just be running away from this connection and being like, it's too much. I'm afraid of pile 2. Pile 2 has the ability to completely crush me. I'm going to go find somebody else that doesn't have that kind of influence. And they may actually be doing that, okay? If they are doing that, they're looking for people who don't have the ability, who don't have the same kind of power over them that you do, okay? They're looking for a comfort zone, and you're not a comfort zone for this person at all. Tell me more about the Grim Reaper being at the bottom of the deck, please. Okay. Oh, there's the Ten of Swords again. Yeah. You guys, this is heavily suggesting, and this probably may have already happened, your person walking away from this connection permanently, or at least that's the energy that they did it in, thinking it was going to be permanent, right? Breaking your heart, betraying your trust with the Ten of Swords coming out in the upright position with that. Going the path of least resistance to them. And the path of least resistance to them is being with somebody who doesn't have the ability to influence them. Okay? Heavy on third-party energies here. Your person could have walked away from you in this connection to be with somebody else. Just know, pile 1 or pile 2, if that's the case, it's not because, you know, that person is, you know, better or anything like that. It actually is the exact opposite. They're with that person because it's a comfort zone. They don't have to grow. They don't have to face any fears. That person doesn't have this incredible impact and influence, and they don't have the ability to sway your person either way. Your person sees themselves as being, or I should say, they want to be in connections with feminines where they feel that the power dynamic is in their favor. Okay, the power dynamic between the two of you was in your favor. That's how they were clocking it, right? I mean, you know, in reality, it's not a competition. You know, it's not supposed to be a competition, but that's what happens when you have, you know, a nervous system that is clocking feminines with certain types of attributes and power and seductive abilities. And, you know, your person might be seeing you as a temptress and stuff like that. Seeing that kind of an energy and that influence as a threat, you know, it's weird, you know, but I mean, it is there. It does happen. You know, it's like, I want that and I like that, but that has the power to really crush me. So I'm going to go off and being with someone else that someone else doesn't have that kind of power and influence over me. That's what's going on, pile 2. Okay. If your person did walk away from you and from this connection, it wasn't to be with somebody because they liked that person more. It was actually because, you know, they didn't like that person more, and they feel like they have, the power dynamic is in their favor, not the other person's. Okay, I hope that makes sense. What does pile 2 want from pile 2 in their connection with pile 2, please? When it comes to their connection with pile 2, what does pile 2's person want? I'm hearing that song, Quit Breaking My Heart. I can't remember the name of the song or the name. That might be it, Quit Breaking My Heart, or the band, but it starts off with pretty brown eyes, and then like the chorus is like Quit Breaking My Heart. I can't remember who that is. I don't know where that energy is coming from. Let me see. Huh. Why did that just come in? Anyway, what does pile 2's person want with pile 2? Unvalued. And it's coming out right underneath love bombing and gaslighting. Along with I'm being 100% real with you. So this says taken for granted, unequal give and take. See, I was just telling you, your person, this is weird, but this is coming from a nervous system that is programmed to see competition in power dynamics within romantic relationships. I hope that makes sense. And so your person does not want equal give and take. They don't want an equal power dynamic. They want to be the ones in control, and that's coming from a sense of fear. Okay, a sense of fear of being taken advantage of and stuff like that. That's pretty much, that's what they want. Okay, again, that's subconscious. That may not even be subconscious. Your person could actually be clocking that and realizing that consciously. Let's get a couple more. This even says not feeling appreciated. That's them not giving you your flowers and not wanting to give you your flowers because they don't want to boost your ego. They don't want to give you more power, right? See, it's very kind of twisted the way that your person is seeing things. It's like they're afraid to compliment you, to, you know, give you flowers, whether that's for real, right? Real flowers or like the metaphorical flowers. They're afraid like it's going to go to your head, right? They're afraid that, yeah, they're just seeing something about the power dynamic. They want the power. They want the control. Wow. Hold on. No, we're not going to do that. Give me two more. Pile 2's person, what do they want with Pile 2 in their connection with the separation? Yeah. And that's showing up right on top of avoidant attachment. Yeah. They want mental and emotional distance from you because they see you as a threat. You got power. You're very attractive. You're very, and you may not even be doing shit on purpose. It's just you being you. And you being you, your person is seeing you having an immense amount of power, an immense amount of the ability to influence them, to seduce them. They don't want anything to do with that. That's why they were wanting to keep things very light, casual, and serious. And that may have been the moment that they ducked out, is when they realized for them it was getting to a point where it wasn't casual for them anymore. They started developing real feelings. They started seeing you like as, oh wow, Pile 2 has the ability to really convince me to do whatever it is that they want, right? And they were like, nope, that's not what I signed up for, and they dipped. New cycle. New cycle says new beginnings, the end of a cycle, making a fresh new start. So there is a part of your person, Pile 2, that silently, they want to keep that door open. At the bottom of the deck, we have gossip. Gossiping about you, worried others will talk. They're looking for information on you for what they want when it comes to you in this connection. They might be looking you up online, talking to others about you. You know, and people that are avoidant sometimes can do that too, especially if they are more on the narcissistic side. They could be trying to turn others against you. They could be starting rumors about you, you know, very self-sabotaging. And for those of you where that does not resonate, that's not your person. This feels more like them just trying to find out some stuff about you. I don't know why, though. Because it's showing up at the bottom of the deck for what they're wanting with you in the connection. Oh. That's not the best of energies, but your person may actually hope that maybe there's a part of your person, okay, yeah, because we have separation here. There is kind of a sense of walking away from this connection, trying to get away from it because of the power that your person feels like you could have over them. And so they're trying to distance themselves away from it as much as they can. And so to them, it's like whatever needs to be done in order for that to happen. If, you know, Pile 2 needs to hear about me, oh, okay. If you have like been on your person's social media, Pile 2, and you're seeing them posting pictures of them and someone else, or them dating other people, or like really hyping up someone else and blah, 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 making it look like they're having like a really good time with this other person, just know they're doing that for a reason. Okay. And a lot of this, again, could be subconscious. They could be trying to convince themselves that they're happy in whatever that relationship is, when really they're not. Okay? And I mean, yeah, they might be happy in a sense that they have the power, they have the control, and that person doesn't have the ability to completely crush them or break their heart like you could, right? And so, I mean, they could feel comfortable and happy in that space, but they're not really truly living. And there is something coming through, like, you know, I don't know how long they may have been with this other person, if a third party dynamic is resonating for you. I can tell you it'll get bored fast. it'll get bored really fast, especially if the polarity in that connection is off. Because, you know, if you got two people, if you got two people, you know, like chasing each other, or you got two people running from each other, it's just like, it's gonna get, there's no polarity there. And when there's no polarity in a connection, that's what causes attraction. And so, you know, there's something about that coming through. Like, be careful about what you're seeing on their social media. If you are, be careful about what others might be telling you about what they're up to, who they're with, and how their relationship with that other person seems. It's not what it seems. There's almost a desire coming from your person to want you to see that and think that, so that it'll send you going in another different direction. Okay. You know, as long as your person's in this avoidant energy pile too, that's how it's going to stay with them. They're going to run away from anybody that has the ability to influence them, impact them, hurt them, disappoint them, and stuff like that. They're trying to be, you know, to them, that's how they see it. You know, they see relationships as like, you know, either you have the power to hurt someone or you don't. And that being the case, I want to be the one that hurts, not, you know, if anybody is going to have the power to hurt anybody in this connection, I want to be the one that does the hurting. That's not how they saw it when they were with you. They saw you as the one that had the power to hurt, not them. All right, you guys, that was your reading. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to donate to the channel energetically. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't already done so, simply by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And you guys, I'll see you later at your next Pick a Card Love reading. Bye, guys. What's happening, pile 3? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Michelle. We are back doing another Pick a Card Love reading. Tapping in and finding out who you are to your person, where you currently stand with them, and what is it that they are wanting when it comes to you and their connection with you. All right, so just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general collective love reading. Whatever's resonating, do whatever you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating with. You guys know the deal. I kind of feel the need. It's later on in the evening. I had to take a break between pile 2 and pile 3. I'm kind of under the weather, you guys, right now. Not too bad, but I did need to take a break. So it's nighttime, which I normally don't film at night. So I'm feeling kind of like, oh, I want to have a little candle going, just kind of help with my energy. All right, you guys. Anyway, yeah. I have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into the energy of you and your person's connection. Just check the description box below. All the booking details can be found there. I have this exact reading available in this exact format as a personal reading. You can find it under specific person readings, and there's a lot of readings available in that category. Many of them are just $25. So go check them out, you guys. See which one fits your guys' needs, or, you know, fills your interest or whatever. Pile 3, you were drawn to the natural citrine point. I'm going to put that right back up here where it belongs. Let's find out where or who you are to your person. You're showing up. Higher power in the reverse. We have the number 4, but in the reverse, we can talk about instability. Oh, man. Okay. We got the King of Wands in the upright position, the Hierophant in the reverse, and then we also have the Queen of Pentacles showing up in the reverse. And then we'll talk about this card over here on your right in a minute. Okay, so I don't know, with this Hierophant showing up in the middle of the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, right off the bat, let's see, we got Taurus energy coming through with the Hierophant, and then with the Queen of Pentacles, it's Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. King of Wands is Aries, Leo, Sag. Somebody's off track here. I'm going to tell you the energies that's coming through because there's a different, you know, it could be a lot of mirroring happening in this connection, and so we'll figure out who is who. But right now, someone is like in their King of Wands energy, and somebody else is presenting in the Queen of Pentacles in reverse energy. could possibly be the Taurus, that is, you know, the Taurus or the earth energy that is showing up in the distortion of that energy, the distortion of the Pentacle, Queen of Pentacles energy. Somebody who's not very grounded, maybe be unreliable, feels unprepared, inadequate, or insecure when compared to the other person, whoever this King of Wands is. So the King of Wands, you know, that's somebody that's very confident, very driven, very powerful and magnetic, somebody who acts from a sense of purpose and intuition. But it's always backed by passion, that sense of, you know, whenever they set their mind to do something, there's always that energy to back it up. And it's kind of like that with the earth energies as well, but there's something going on with the earth energy that is, you know, or the feminine energy in this connection. There could even be something going on with like an inner feminine energy, whether that's yours or not. Okay, again, we're going to get into the rest of the reading and we'll figure out who is who. Who you are to your person with the higher, well, yeah, okay, I get it, because we got the higher power in the reverse, and then we also have the Hierophant in the reverse. Somebody's channel to their higher self, or to source, or to God, you know, it's never not there, but it's being blocked. There's something blocking it, and it may be whoever this feminine energy is, and or the earth energy is. Yeah, there's definitely something like clogging the flow of energy. This King of Wands is wanting to express, wanting to take action, wanting to move things forward. And that energy is being halted. It's being delayed. This can be, okay, so for who you are to your person, this can be, or who you represent to them, pile 3, they may see this connection as one that they cannot fully control. They have a very difficult time releasing control, just period. And so, you know, when we're in the dynamics of a romantic connection and where polarity is needed, if you have someone who doesn't know just how to hold space and let the other person just, you know, whatever the case may be, somebody here has a control problem. Sorry if you hear my son in the background. He's gaming with his buddies, but anyway, back to what we were saying. And so to your person, you in this connection may also represent a mirror that is reflecting what they are trying to avoid, okay? This can also talk about a spiritual or intuitive force that they don't know how to handle. So you could be triggering, or someone, either you or your person, okay, is triggering, feeling very triggered by this connection and not knowing what to do with what's being brought up. There's also a feeling that things are fated, that this connection is like destined, right? That could be scaring your person because it asks something of them that they aren't grounded enough to receive. And so, you know, the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse could also be just symbolic of your person's own energy. You know, they're okay in their masculine energy, but they don't, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because, you know, it's that feminine energy that is able to just kind of relax and let go of control and let things unfold naturally. And your person may have a really difficult time doing that. They may have a kind of a fear response where they feel they have to be hyper control of their environment. That's, you know, a trauma response. And so that's coming through too. You know, you could be triggering a lot of this person's, you know, old trauma. It's getting a little bit deep, but, you know, we're going to keep going. With the higher power reversed here, it says you're triggering their unhealed relationship with trust, as well as surrender and emotional accountabilities. You know, this is somebody who, pile 3, your person does not, they just don't trust. They don't trust in, they don't trust in the universe. They don't trust in divine timing. They may not even believe in any of that stuff. They try to control the outcomes, and they pull away when things start to feel bigger than them. And so, you know, this is triggering, like, this is going, like, this connection, you and this connection, pile 3, like, catapults your person into fear, ego, and avoidance.
it causes them to hide from being truly seen. Again, that's a fear response. You know, pile 3, you're not just another person to them. You're somebody that their soul is reacting to, wanting to react to, but their ego is glitching. It's getting in the way because of it, okay? Your connection with your person is short-circuiting you're short-circuiting them, okay? With this Hierophant in the reverse, you know, you could be challenging your person's beliefs. The scenario that's being brought up to me is, you know, again, this is just an example. It doesn't have to be your exact, sorry, it doesn't have to be your exact experience with this person, but, you know, this could be somebody who didn't believe or doesn't believe in a higher power or source or higher self or anything like that. They don't believe in anything other than what they can perceive with their senses, right? Their physical senses. And you may be challenging that. They may feel their beliefs, their inherent beliefs, starting to shift. They are starting to question maybe what they have adapted or have believed is true up until this point, just as a result of having some kind of a connection with you. You're shaking their sense of how they believe relationships are supposed to work. They're also feeling like the connection with you requires a level of authenticity or spiritual maturity they haven't yet mastered. They're feeling, basically, it's almost like they're feeling like a baby compared to you, or infantile. You're on a whole other level as far as they're concerned. Yeah. The spread basically is saying that you make them question everything about the way they've been doing relationships and the way they're gonna do relationships, or questioning everything, though, especially with the higher power in the reverse and the Hierophant in the reverse. This feels very spiritual. You're having them look at things in a very spiritual nature, whereas before they may have been somebody that's just very 3D based, science based. You know, if it can't be proven, then it isn't, you know, it can't be true. Something along those lines, right? You know, and because of this, because you are causing your person to start to challenge their internal beliefs that may have been held in place for a really, really long time, it's causing a sense of cognitive dissonance in your person, pile 3. Okay? Which can be very disconcerting. I don't know if you've actually experienced like true cognitive dissonance. I have. And it really does feel like your brain is being short-circuited, okay? It really does. And so if your person seems to dip out quite a bit on this connection, or maybe they go ghost or something like that, I mean, if you've never truly experienced cognitive dissonance, it's difficult to explain to somebody, but I can tell you as a reader who has experienced it before, it's almost like you go offline because, you know, everything is just, you can't make sense of anything. And so it's just, you like need to retreat. But I'm not yet picking up on like hermit energy or anything like that. They could be trying, yeah, with this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, they also could be just feeling very ungrounded, and they're trying to figure out a way to ground. But, you know, that's kind of a spiritual sense, right? Maybe they don't know that they're supposed to do that or how to do that, how to ground, how to recenter. Big time on cognitive dissonance. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. I don't know how to explain it any other way than just it's short-circuiting their brain, okay? Let's find out now. Oh, then we have Detective in the reverse. So what Detective in the reverse is talking about, this is how they're currently seeing you. When it comes to this connection, and it's in the reverse, so we're going to read the shadow attribute, and it says voyeurism and falsifying information. Very interesting. But real quick, what we're going to do is get out 3 cards from the deck that I made. Just 3. Find out what their thoughts and feelings are real quick to see kind of the overall vibe that they're in when it comes to you. All right, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to pile 3, please. Okay, yeah, this is what they're trying to figure out. Like, is this love? Or am I just confusing, you know, attachment for true love? They're trying to figure that out, but that's coming from that space of cognitive dissonance. We also have love bombing and gaslighting showing up right underneath the Hierophant in the reverse. Your person is having a very difficult time coming to terms with something, okay? They could have something against God, quote unquote God, or have something against, you know, a higher intelligence or just the universe or something like that. They could even be mad at God, okay? Whatever their understanding or belief is about God. Let's get one more. And you know, if they had that belief or they had that conviction prior to meeting you and now you're causing them to question everything, that makes a lot of sense as to why now they're dealing with a lot of cognitive dissonance, where they're having a very difficult time processing things. Because if their mind is, you know, kind of circuiting out, they're not able to think through things very logically. And they're having a very difficult time getting grounded out of that inner static and chaos. Let's get one more. Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to pile 3, please. There we go. I knew that was coming up. I felt it. Still battling addiction and inner demons, okay? They could legitimately be dealing with, you know, a substance abuse problem, whether it's drugs, alcohol. They could, you know, maybe have a food addiction. They could have an addiction to sex or, you know, serial dating or an addiction to, you know, third-party validation or something like that. And they could be battling with several different addictions. We also have at the bottom of the deck, please talk to me. Give me a minute, you guys. They're questioning quite a bit. And then you can hear the sirens in the background, the emergency vehicles. With the shadow attribute of the detective coming out, it's the energy coming through with that is it's not as bad as it sounds. In the context of what the other cards are saying, this is what feels is happening. Your person thinks you see everything. All 3, okay? They think you have a pretty good read on just energy in general. You know, they believe that you have the ability to see through people, that you notice inconsistencies, that you pick up on energy before, you know, any words are even spoken. And having said that, this could be making them feel very exposed, very vulnerable, like they can't hide their flaws or lies even if they wanted to. Yeah, just like you can read them a little bit too easily. And so they could very well be projecting their own avoidance onto you. The falsifying information here feels like your person might be feeling like you've already judged them harshly in some way. You know, whether that's true or not, that's, you know, that's that inner critic that's very loud in your person's energy. You know, again, this feels like a lot of projection. I don't know if you criticize your person out loud or not, but that's what they fear. There's this energy that you've already judged them, or they're fearing that you have or you are, okay? There's an energy that you've drawn conclusions about them that they're not able to rewrite. That the way that you see them might be distorted, or you've experienced something and your interpretation of it isn't accurate or something like that. You know, and something else that's also coming through is they feel like you're always 2 steps ahead and they're losing control of the narrative, okay? That's what they could be afraid of. That your person may be because we have the love bombing and the gaslighting here. You know, that may be how your person was able to spin a narrative, to spin a story, and they can't do that with you because you're able to pick up on the energy underneath. Like you probably have a really high bullshit detector, pile 3. And whatever may have worked on other people doesn't work on you. And they know that. Even if you haven't misread anything, technically, pile 3, their ego thinks you might have. It fears that. As far as the voyeurism goes, you know, again, they're feeling watched by you, okay? Not literally, but energetically. You're in their head, your presence lingers all around them. They feel like you see deeper than they're comfortable with. And some people call that chemistry, but your person is, they're seeing that as like too exposed. That's too much exposure. So the bottom line here is that, you know, you are a very powerful mirror to your person, whether they would see it like that or not. You're somebody who triggers their growth. You know, they see this connection as one they can't control. You're someone who's too perceptive to fool. You're also someone that they don't quite feel ready for yet. And you're someone who forces them out of old belief systems. And you're also a person that they admire, right? But they also feel intimidated by you. And because of all of that, they're pulling back. They have a tendency to pull back. They have a tendency to run away, to avoid. They also have a tendency to distort things so that they don't have to face their own sense of not feeling good enough, okay? So, I mean, in this instance, they could be seeing you as, you know, or in the energy of the King of Wands, and they might, you know, they could be in the energy of the Queen of Pentacles, or they're seeing themselves as the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, even though that's not how they would characterize it, right? But there's a definite kind of a contrast of energies and powers here. Like, you're in your power to the fullest, and they're not at all. Let's find out now. Who is pile, or let's see, where does pile 3 currently stand with their person? Heart with the key. This is welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together. Let's find the other 2. Where does pile 3 currently stand with their person? We have talking, okay? Let's get one more. And yeah, with getting together and talking, there's definitely a conversation that your person is wanting to have. This could also just say that, you know, whatever's going on between the two of you, they're still interested in this connection, okay? Even though they're having a hard time coming to terms with something, processing something. Hey, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance going on. Let's get one more. Love call. There it is. Yeah, so this is someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know, okay? So, I mean, yeah, they may come in trying to keep things light-hearted, keeping things surface level because that's where they're comfortable. That's where they're comfortable at, okay? But there is love there. There is definite love there with the love call, and then with the heart with the key, welcoming love, meeting the one. You know, this is where you stand with them. They do welcome this love. What they're having a difficult time is with fully receiving it and integrating it, okay? But I do feel like this connection, whatever, like when I'm seeing like a soil, and it's rock hard, right? But I'm seeing like as time goes on and this connection goes on, the soil is starting to be loosened up, right? Slow going, right? But it is there. You know, where you stand with your person, it says opening your heart. That is definitely something that they're interested in doing. They're just they're having a difficult time doing it. We also have getting together, you know, also interested, conversing more. Awaited message arrives, text, call, email. At the bottom of the deck, we have ascending. It says transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, and preparing for union. Okay. Your person has a desire to want to move things forward in this connection, but at this point in time, because things are so unstable in their energy, because everything is being challenged to their core, they're just in a very unstabilized energy at this point. Things really need to start settling down in terms of when they get regrounded again, when they find their center again, because right now they're all over the place energetically, okay? What is pile 3's person want when it comes to pile 3 and their connection with pile 3. A heartbreak. Funny that that's coming out right on top of attachment and not love. There is almost kind of a sense in, this could be very subconscious. This could be coming from, you know, the wounded inner child or just the wound itself. And that could be a defense mechanism, you know, because that programming is being challenged. That gatekeeper is, you know, being challenged. Let's see. Let's get 2 more. What does pile 3's person want when it comes to pile 3 and their connection with pile 3, please? This also says break up, suffering and grieving and unable to move on. That may be it too. They may want you to be in a space with them where the 2 of you are unable to move on. What does pile 3's person want with pile 3 and their connection to pile 3? Ooh, they don't want to talk now. What does pile 3's person want with pile 3, please? 2 more. Money is tight. This is money problems, not enough money, careful about expenditure. Showing up right with love bombing and gaslighting. Let's get 1 more. See, your person feels like they're deflecting this question, okay? It could very well be, pile 3, that they don't know what they want because they are in a state of cognitive dissonance. They're having a difficult time even figuring out what they want, okay? Let's get 1 more. What does pile 3's person want when it comes to pile 3 and their connection to pile 3? This almost feels, too, that they're saying they want to focus on money. Whatever problems they got, they're wanting to focus on that, okay? Not wanting to focus on this connection. Let's get 1 more. Oh, what was that one? Is that in the reverse? Back of the deck is beauty, okay? That's the Queen of Wands energy coming out to match that King of Wands. It says intimidated by your beauty. Your beauty stands out in physical attraction. Yeah, they dig the attraction between the 2 of you. This is in the upright position. Let's see what it is. Oh, trapped. Yeah, they don't want this connection going anywhere, all right? It feels like what they're wanting, pile 3, is they're wanting time and space to try to figure out what's going on. Because right now, where they're at energetically, they cannot make heads or tails of anything. And so they can't really answer the question yet, what it is they're truly wanting when it comes to you and their connection with you, because they haven't even figured out who they are yet. And you know, you can't, you know those maps where it says you are here, you know, you got to know where you're at before you can, you know, set a path, or before you can even figure out what destination you're wanting to go in, right? Yeah, it's a holding pattern. I know that it's annoying. But, you know, what they're wanting is for you and this connection to kind of stay put and not go anywhere until they get shit figured out for themselves. All right, pile 3, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, do me a favor. Smash the like button. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't already done so, simply by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile 3, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys.